Lesson 6.4 is all about completing the square. Now, if we've learned anything from 1940s jazz musicians, it's that you don't want to be a square. But wait, we're mathematicians. We're not 1940s hipsters. We love squares. So we are going to get rid of that. Delete. Because squares are awesome. When completing the square, we want to look at first the square root property, which says anytime we have a binomial squared, so x plus n squared equaling m, then we can determine what our x value equals. We'd say that x equals the square root of our m value minus this value n. Now that might sound a little bit confusing at first, so I'm going to show you a quick example. Say we have x, let's do x plus 1 squared equals 16. So in this case we put it into this form, and we want to find what x equals. Well, again, remember, from this over here we'd say x equals square root of m, so square root of this, minus our n value, so minus this one. Okay. From here we can determine then that x equals square root of 16 is 4 minus 1. So we would say that x equals 3. Good way to check that is, again, just to put it directly into our original equation. So if x is 3, so 3 plus 1 squared equals 16. That's what our original equation would say then. 3 plus 1 is 4. So we have 4 squared equals 16. And indeed, 4 squared is 16, which does equal 16. So that is true. So that's a good way to check that. So that's how the square root property works. So if we want to solve using the square root property, first thing we have to do is look at our polynomial here, in this case a trinomial, and we want to get it into that x plus n squared form so that it equals m. We are given our m value over here. This 25 is like our m value, but we need to determine this piece. So we need to factor. We can factor this piece down into x plus 4 times x plus 4. Now from here we recognize it's x plus 4 times itself, or we can say x plus 4 squared. And from over here we have that it still equals 25. So now we have it in our x plus n squared equals m form. And we would say x equals, remember, m, so we have square root of m, or square root of 25, and our n value found over here, we have to subtract that. So from here, continue it out and say then that x equals square root of 25 is 5, minus 4 here, give us 1. So we'd say 1 equals x, or x equals 1. Again, if we want to check that, put that back into our original equation up here. So we'd say 1 squared plus 8 times 1 plus 16 equals 25, and we just want to check and make sure that's true. Well, 1 squared is 1, plus 8 times 1 is 1, plus 16 equals 25. And sure enough, 1 plus 8 plus 16 is 25, which equals 25. So that is a good way to check our solution by the square root property. So by now you should know everything there is to know about the square root property.